Okay, welcome back. So today we're talking about police cautions. Now this is the definition that you'll find on the gov.uk website. There might be something a similar operation in the US, but cautions are given to anyone aged 10 or over for minor crimes. For example, writing graffiti on a bus shelter. The important thing is you have to admit an offence and agree to be cautions. You can be arrested and charged if you don't agree. So a caution is not a criminal conviction, but it could be used as evidence of bad character if you do go to court for another crime. This is an article about the Met Police who ordered child abuse detectives to caution innocent people to hit targets. And the officer claims he was told to tamper with the evidence at the scene of a baby's death and was disciplined after he complained. Former detectives in the Metropolitan Police's child abuse investigation team have alleged that they were ordered to caution innocent people to meet targets, as one claims his boss told him to tamper with evidence. A number of police officers have left the force and broken ranks to tell the newspaper that one of the Scotland Yard's most sensitive units is broken and therefore children could be at risk. The allegations include orders to arrest and caution innocent people over abuse offences that would have a long-term impact on their lives, and officers ticking boxes to falsely claim work had been done, the whistleblowers claim. Some made complaints about actions of the superiors which they say were covered up or brushed under the carpet, while some of the force acted as if it was an old boys network. And then the article goes on to talk about bullying. During his time in the force, he alleges, this is the whistleblower, that the ineffective and bullying management asked him to carry out a series of unlawful acts, including orders to unbag and replace evidence he had seized while investigating the suspicious death of a baby. And again, going on, several of his former colleagues have told this newspaper that they were pressured to caution people they believed were innocent because the units were target-driven. The article goes on and gives another example. When DC Tom Colling heard that he had been ordered to tamper with the evidence that he had just collected at the scene of a baby's suspicious death, he thought his colleague was mistaken. He asked her to call their superior back to check to make sure they were being asked to unbag the exhibits and return them to their original locations as another unit was taking over. That was the order. Mr. Collins claims that he refused, but others did not. In a later complaint to his bosses, Mr. Collins noted that this was an unlawful order and contrary to every principle on crime scene preservation. It is just one of the catalogue of failings he alleges occurred during his time in the Met's child abuse investigation team. The article goes on to talk about target culture. The target culture saw a senior officer put up a board in his office to show how many cases and how many detections, solved cases, each officer had, it was said. Talking about the unlawful orders, his allegation include he was ordered to arrest 2 innocent men for serious child abuse accusations for which there was no evidence, and on another to report a dog to the RSPCA despite no concerns about its well-being or behaviour. Mr. Colling said he raised complaints with his supervisors but was told he needed to understand, firstly, that neither of them had to account to me for their actions, and secondly, I was to do whatever I was ordered to do. In January 2014, just weeks after he says he refused to tamper with the evidence, he was subject to disciplinary proceedings because he was not keeping up with workload. An example from another officer: everyone feared reprisals. DC Jan Pyle, who worked alongside him during her 20 years in the force before retiring in 2014, said that everyone feared reprisals. We are always told to arrest people if an allegation is made, even if there has been no crime, she recalled. They are trying to get their detection numbers up. Another detective, who left the force last year and wishes to remain anonymous, said, there was one officer who used to do loads of cautions, and I did think it was odd that she had all these clear-ups. I worked with her one day and she had this woman sit in a car and got her to sign the caution form. It was all very informal. She said that in one case there was no evidence, but she had to ask her superior to take no further action. Back to the cautions. So these cautions are not a criminal conviction, but it could be used in evidence if you go to court for another crime. So in terms of duration, a caution will appear on a DBS certificate, that's a disclosure barring service, or a police records check, until 6 years have passed, provided the offence is not on the prescribed list of offences that will never be filtered from a criminal record check. So even though it doesn't appear on a criminal record for a lifetime, there are implications for accepting a police caution. Now this is from a website, Unlock, which supports people with criminal records. Now even if you have a caution, it may or may not appear on some of these checks. Areas of life which may be affected by cautions: your employment or education, insurance, travel, and future court appearances. Now, it doesn't always affect some of these items. It won't always appear on any check. However, that's the law as it is now. If they change the law, or if the checking system changes in future years, then it might well appear. So you have to be very cautious about accepting a caution, and I would always take legal advice. In fact, I would never accept a caution. It's probably best to go to court and get it all wrapped up in front of a jury or a magistrate if you believe the police might be playing funny buggers with the evidence. Thank you for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe and check out the other videos. If you want to support me, that would be a great help and much appreciated. You can buy me a coffee. Follow the link in the description, or you can even check out the books, Mad as Hell Parts 1 and 2. Part 1 is the 899 days on bail before I was charged, and then Part 2 is the 7 months of the trial preparation before the case against me was dropped. The ebook and paperback is available on Amazon. Search for Mad as Hell by David M. Anderson, and you could probably go into a bookshop and they could order it from their systems as well. And of course, if you or a loved one are experiencing legal troubles yourself, I hope you found this channel and video useful, and the very best of luck. Thanks.